in the 1973 film The Way We Were, during the scene where that riot breaks out during the anti-communist Hollywood trials, there's a scene when Robert Redford says to Barbara Streisand, people are more important than principles. And Barbara's character responds back. She said, "Well, people are their principles." Somewhere in all this storyline we're in, it seems like the people got lost, and the principles and the words have been somehow weaponized against humanity itself. This week was Martin Luther King, his anniversary, the celebration of Martin Luther King's life. And when we left the Fine Arts Building last night, we noticed actually it was pointed out to me, the word dream on the side of the Blue Cross building. And we were all kind of startled by that. Like the word dream, like it's almost an antiquated word in our time. And why is that? Why have all the voices been silenced? There's no room for imagination, dreaming, or thinking what can be. We're all so afraid to speak up. Many people, believe that the message of Martin Luther King was infiltrated in his time, and not so much that people disagreed with it, but just the whole idea that anybody who has a voice that gets attention has to be shut down because it's just too dangerous. It's just too dangerous to think that we might give voice to an idea or concept and mistakenly endorse something that might be wrong. I guess apparently words, ideas, and beliefs, it's all too dangerous. Welcome to Illinois Bridging Awareness. I don't think it's dangerous here. I think we're trying to carve out a safe place to navigate the sometimes very awkward gap between our everyday selves and our sole purpose selves. Each week we gather on Saturday and have a conversation about a topic or a theme, about words, or the glass half empty, or our demon possessed selves, the stories we tell ourselves, and what's holding us back, and venturing out from the comfortable space, the shallow water, into the deep water of life, which I guess can be viewed as dangerous. We all need to find our voice in that. I can tell you from my personal journey on this, I am definitely a behind the scenes person. I love organizing small details and nuances that set the stage for a larger narrative. And it's really not my place. It hasn't been my practice to have a voice or find my voice. And it's part of the value of me of making these videos, as awkward and as unpolished as they often are. I can hear myself finding a message, and it's almost always after the fact that I hear more clearly what it was I was trying to say and what message was trying to be delivered. I think that's what we've talked about in the call, is listening to the words we use, hearing what we say, in addition to hearing other people. I was presented with the idea this week that we don't need to be right about everything. We don't need to be correct. We don't need to be fact checked in order to be heard or to have value. It's just the fact that we have a voice and say what we think or feel or how we see it, and that should be respected and heard, regardless of whether it's considered correct or factual. And I think that's a practice we could all work on this week, is giving ourselves that freedom of being aware that we might be wrong, but that's okay. And the people we listen to might be wrong, but they might have something that they're delivering um, that we can find value in. We don't need to judge or decide. We can just hear that person, and then when we hear that person, we see that person, and then we recognize their humanity. And in the practice of that, we recognize our own humanity. It's ironic trying to carve out these safe places by closing all the voices down, because we're doing the opposite. We're not hearing people, we're not seeing people, we're not recognizing the humanity of others. And saddest of all is we're really failing to recognize the humanity of ourselves. Last week on the Saturday call, we talked about words, and also about, what kind of car would you want to be? Like, what kind of car do you think you are? And what kind of car would you like to be? Some of us will be in our cars this Saturday because we're heading out to the western suburbs for a General Assembly meeting. I'm hoping that I'm hoping that Roxanne can host the call. I'm going to suggest that we continue talking about words and words we can use. Last week we talked about the word should, and probably if you hear yourself starting off with a thought or a sentence with I should or you should, you might want to hear yourself say that and think of a better term. Maybe I would love, or I would like, or I dream of doing, as opposed to should. We all have our should selves, the practical, energy efficient car we should be driving in, but we have our dream car and our sexy, sporty self car. We have another vocabulary which we've kind of shut down because it's just too dangerous. Um, on Saturday, I'm going to ask Roxanne to host, and I think where we're going on our journey together is trying to break down whatever barrier. And I do think it's cliche to think of the stories we tell ourselves, but it comes around to that over and over again. These stories we tell ourselves, the safe, energy efficient car we put ourselves in every day, when really we want to venture out of the shallow water into the deeper water, the open road, and really let our hair down and experience the thrill and adventure, which is what this life is for. We can't always hide out in the safe place, and closing everybody down around us and closing our own voice down isn't being safe. It's the most dangerous thing we can do. If you would like to join us on a Saturday call, the Illinois Bridging Awareness Call is every Saturday at 9 a.m. Central Time on Zoom. I will include my email in the description of this video. I'll be happy to send you an invitation. And I look forward to seeing you very, very soon.